Hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Report and Outlook as we head for the final days of January. It could be the driest January on record. We may actually have the driest January on record. You can see plenty of clouds again today. Now we just have some high clouds, but there's clouds, jet junk in there. Not a great looking sky tonight. I did want to check out the bay, and I will be doing it this week. Hopefully, it'll stay frozen. But you can see the ice on the lake here at Rockville Center tonight. That's the ice right there, so you can definitely see. You definitely have a lot of frozen areas, and the ferries suspended to Fire Island as a result of all that ice as well. But today it was warmer, so I don't know what the hell that was. The high was 42. I don't know if the mic picked that up. The high was 42 today at Islip. The low was 31. And that actually put us 6 degrees above normal for the day. So above normal for the change. But take a look. We've only had 0.37 inches of rain, liquid equivalent this month. Normally we'd see 3.12 by this point. So we're almost 3 inches, 2.75 inches below normal. Last year we had a very wet January, 6.39. Let's go to yesterday's, because yesterday was a lot colder, high of 33 and a low of 13, put us 8 degrees below normal for the day. But definitely warmer today, and we'll get a little bit of a reprieve from the cold, but it will get cold again briefly. So let's look at our current weather map, and you can see, they're getting a storm out west, and you can see some wind advisories, even some high wind warnings around the Great Lakes, and it looks like, is that another lake effect snow warning? Yep, it looks like it is for western New York. And we also have a gale warning for the offshore waters. So that means we're going to be dealing with more wind tomorrow again. Let's look at our temperatures right now. If they would load, that would be nice. So it's down to 27 at Islip, so we're starting to see some radiational cooling. 23 at West Hampton. Speaking of that, let's see how West Hampton has done them over the weekend here. Let's see how they did this morning. Let's see what they got down to this morning. It probably wasn't all that cold. Last night was kind of mild. We didn't even get below freezing last night. And then for the 25th, the morning of the 25th, let's see what we have. It got down to, let's see what it got down to at West Hampton. 4? Looks like it got down to 3. So it got down to 3 at West Hampton. It was in the single digits, so yeah, that was a nice cold night. Unfortunately, we're not going to see that the next couple of nights. 24 at Miller Air Park. That's their low right now. They got up to 41. Actually, it's Coyle Field. Miller Air Park's 21. They got up to 40 today, and they were down to 19 this morning. So let's see if they how their radiational cooling was for Saturday morning. Let's see what they got down to. Not quite as cold as West Hampton. They got down to 5. So anyway, we've gone on over the weather this weekend, and like I said, we've had a lot of clouds this weekend. So not really. We've had sunshine and some clouds around. And that's just because we're dealing with these fronts that are kind of coming through. So let's look at the weather map here, and you'll see that was just the front that brought us there's another little trough that's over the lakes. Looking at our surface analysis here, you see there's actually a front that's stalled out over the mid-Atlantic. You have high pressure in the center of the country. But we're getting a little bit of a break from the cold, but you can see there's a clipper up there that will have to be watched to bring the cold. It will bring the Arctic air back in for this week. And this is, again, our satellite. You can see all the clouds. So let's go to the models. Models, please. Thank you. Close that out. So let's look at the upper air first. And we'll look at our jet stream first of all. And this is the 18Z GFS. I prefer to use the 12Z because it seems like it's just a better run to use. So you can see we're a little bit of it, but you see the trough coming back as we get toward the later part of the week. That's going to bring us another shot of cold air. And then as we get toward the weekend, there may be another little trough coming through. But then as we enter February, we got a ridge in the east, unfortunately. And that means we're going to be dealing with some warmer weather, not what I want to see. You can see the trough kind of shifts off to the west on this. We can look at the European as well. So you see there's that trough for Tuesday into Wednesday into Thursday. Then another one for the weekend. This is the European. The European also has the ridge, though it's not quite as bad as the GFS. European does have a little more of a troughy look for the beginning of February. So we do have some differences here. So let's go to the upper air. And we'll also look at the polar vortex as well while we look at this as well. So this is the upper air. So you can see that trough that swings through Tuesday. That's the clipper. That'll bring in some colder weather. A little bit of a break, and then we get another trough. This is the trough that's going to actually come into Wednesday into Thursday. It's going to, bring in colder weather. Then we get a little bit of a break, another little trough on the weekend, and then you can see that the European wants to have a trough off over the northeast to begin February. So there's definitely a difference there. But then they still build this huge ridge, unfortunately, that'll be over the east. So GFS. Let's go back to the GFS here, and I'll just use the 12Z because I think it's just more of a stable run. There's some differences with the way the troughs are shaped. There's a little break the weekend, maybe a little bit of a cool down. But you can see what happens here. The GFS is not nearly as strong with that trough in the northeast, and it just has this huge off-the-wall ridge that we're going to have to deal with. Now that you've looked at all that, let's go ahead and look at the temperature anomaly chart. I'll bring this down to the surface. So see how all this pans out. So here we go. Temperature anomaly chart. Here we go. All right. So you can see been above normal today. Tomorrow will be a little bit above normal. Then Tuesday, you can see there's a little bit of a cold shot of air that comes in. It's a glancing blow, and then we get another colder shot for Thursday. Unfortunately, they're all kind of glancing blows Thursday, and then the weekend. It doesn't look like there's going to be another cold shot on this. And you can see there's a cold shot of air, again, that tries to make it around on the northeast for the week in February, but then we got to deal with all these above normal temperatures for a little bit. But it does try to bring the colder air back, but it's going to wind up going to the west first, according to this. Now, the Euro has a different idea on things. So let's go ahead and look at the European here. Oh, hold on a sec. They just turned the laundry on. You're going to have to... I've got to pause the video. I got to close the windows. Thank God I was able to open the windows, and it was like 75 in here when I got home. I had the windows open. I put the fans on. I can't breathe in this place. But anyway, back to the weather here. You can see, actually, GFS is a little more cooler tomorrow than the... the European's a little cooler tomorrow than the GFS. Oh, this is the 18Z. And then we see that secondary Arctic front coming through on Tuesday, and then that other burst of cold air that'll be for Thursday. But then it's out of here by Friday, and then there'll be another. Euro brings in some more cold air for the second, but you can see it's not a prolonged stretch, and then another burst of cold air on the Euro for February 5th. But then after that, we got to deal with a little bit of above normal temperatures, and we don't know how long that's going to last for. All right. So that's what it looks like right now as far as your general outlook goes. Let's go to the surface now. Sticking with the European here. So you can see our surface features. And you see there's that clipper that's coming out. So tomorrow we have westerly winds, and then you can see that clipper, and there'll also be some wind with it too as well. See the isobars tighten. So that's your first clipper coming through. It's going to bring a glancing blow of cold air. Then your second clipper comes through on Wednesday. That's going to bring a little more of a stronger shot of colder air. And then for Friday, it looks like the European is bringing in some chances of rain, perhaps, for the end of the week. This is the European here at the surface. There's a low pressure, and then that is going to slide on by to the south for your Friday. And then Saturday, high pressure will build into the area bring us some more colder weather, I guess. And you can see, yeah, the Euro still has, there's that second Arctic high that builds in there, right? No big snowstorms here in this forecast. It's just showing rain for the most part, all right? That's the European. Let's go to the GFS now. Again, we will use the 12Z GFS at this point. Similar look, pretty much this week. There's that front that comes through on Tuesday, and then we have the other clipper for Wednesday. It looks like the GFS has a lot of that precipitation staying to the north. High pressure builds in for Thursday. Then our next system here, and then the GFS's timing is completely different with this low pressure system, and it brings in perhaps snow changing over to rain on Saturday, and that could be a real miserable weekend if the GFS are right, because we're going to be dealing with precipitation all weekend long, and it could end as snow, perhaps. So there's definitely some unsettledness to the next weekend, unfortunately. So hopefully you enjoyed this dry weekend, because next week may not be so, but it has been an unusually dry month. Of course, I'd rather have snow instead of rain. Right now, it does not look like we're going to see any really major snow threats in this forecast. Again, it's been below normal this month, and a lot of people in the media are, obviously they've had very unusual weather along the Gulf. But as far as this month goes, yes, it's nice to have the colder weather, but it's still lacking. We're lacking the snow, and even though it's been cold, the coldest nights we've had have been due to radiational cooling. The air masses really have not been all that cold. There are plenty of times when I was younger when highs were only in the teens. We still managed to get near 20, so it's still not, in my opinion, not really anything. It's nice, but it's not that impressive. I'll just put it that way. So let's look at for the Gulf Coast it is, but not for us. As far as getting those really impressive shots of cold, well, we're living on a warming world unless you want to figure out a way to set off some big volcanoes to block out the sun. I don't have any other solutions for you. But anyway, let's look at. So you got to look at both models now. We're going to go back to the short range and look at the HRRR now. So you see we're dry tomorrow, but you see those isobars tighten up. So tomorrow's going to be a little bit more breezy, and you'll notice the winds will pick up more toward the evening too. You notice how the isobars get tighter. There's actually going to be a snow squall with this clipper, but it's probably going to fall apart by the time it gets to us. But upstate there could be a nice snow squall with it. That moves offshore, and then we would be dealing with the next system for Wednesday. Let's look at our dew points and wind flow. All right, so your dew points here, they are down there, and they do drop a little bit tomorrow. You'll see that we have a west, drop a little more of a Jersey, actually. For some reason, it brings like a really, this is the HRRR, it brings an area of single-digit dew points over Jersey. For the most part, we have dew points in the teens. You notice that west-to-west, southwest flow for tomorrow. And you'll see there's that Arctic front coming through. Boom, look at that. That's really impressive, but it's a glancing blow. But it does come through for Tuesday, and that really brings in you can notice those dew points drop down to near zero now. All right, so let's look at our temperatures tonight. And you'll see temperatures tonight won't really drop all that much. We'll probably have lows in the mid-20s. If there is radiational cooling, which I doubt, I think the winds are going to pick up, we'll probably see maybe some teens in the Pine Barrens. Now tomorrow will be another day where it's gonna get up. Now it has it as much as the mid 40s in Jersey, maybe upper 30s to around 40 on Long Island for tomorrow, and then staying mild tomorrow night. It won't really drop off that much. Lows only around freezing, and then here comes the really cold air. But you notice it's a glancing blow. But still, Tuesday is going to wind up being a lot cooler as a result of this glancing blow, and I think Long Island highs may only be in the upper 20s to around 30. So finally get cold again, at least for Tuesday. So let's look at the soundings for tomorrow. So I'll show you the sky situation. We'll pick 17Z right in the middle of the day, noon. So we should have a mostly sunny sky. Those lines are pretty far apart. So I think we'll have plenty of sunshine. I think tomorrow should be even, although it'll be a little on the breezy side, I think. Yeah, look at how far those lines are apart. That looks really nice. At least we had that to look forward to. Finally a sunny day, clear day. So let's look at the GFS. and see if there are any differences in these soundings. No, not really. They all look. So this is the 18Z. A little tighter over Long Island, but other than that, they all look good to me. So this is the GFS, so we can again look at that front coming through. You can see here's the front coming through here on the GFS. There it is. You can see it's a glancing blow. It's a glancing blow for your Tuesday. GFS is a little less intense with it, and still has us getting up into the mid-30s on Long Island and perhaps 40 down toward the Jersey Shore. And that pulls out, and then Wednesday we moderate into the 40s, and we'll have to watch for some scattered precipitation on Wednesday. It's too far in advance for us to know how. It probably won't wind up being all that much. And then Thursday, you can see that second batch of air coming in right there. And again, temperatures drop again down to the 20s, usually dew points, and wind flow here. Temperatures drop into the 20s far, but as soon as it's in, boom, pulls back out again on Friday, unfortunately. All right. And then the temperatures rise again back to above freezing again. And then for the weekend, you can see it tries to bring that colder air in behind that storm, and has a colder day on Sunday with easterly winds, though. So that's not a wind direction that's going to really favor sun. And again, if we look at the I hadn't realized I changed it to the 18Z. You can see that high there kind of builds down to the north. So again, this is your system here that we'd have to watch for your Saturday. And that might end in some snow, perhaps. But right now, it's just too far in advance for us to say. So let's go to the sky cover on this. And obviously, this has a lot of clouds around. But let's go back to tomorrow. So start off with those high clouds. I think push on off. Should be mostly sunny for the day tomorrow. Though it does show some, funnily enough, it shows some clouds hanging on over Jersey, this model. That's weird, though. It doesn't show it here. So that's kind of weird. We have a discrepancy on the model. This is probably just a resolution issue. But it's a bit of a discrepancy. If there are clouds, then those lines should be touching. So tomorrow should have plenty of sun. Tuesday, we'll probably have to watch for some more clouds. And then Wednesday, we'll probably have clouds. And then Thursday, hopefully, we'll have sunshine. Then Friday, we'll cloud back up again. Let's go look at the RGM here. And we'll go to the 18Z run of that. For tomorrow, as you can see, in the morning around 7 o'clock, we might have some cirrus clouds, and then they push on off to the south. It should be mostly sunny day. Then this Arctic front comes through on Tuesday. That's the Arctic front right there. And then behind it, though, once it passes through, shows some sun, but then we might have some instability, stratocumulus. And then for Wednesday, the RGM is giving us some partly sunny conditions, and it's really not showing too much in the way of precipitation. Let's go to the models on the. Let's go to the look at the precipitation on this. I'm just kind of curious about that Arctic front. It just doesn't really. So it kind of brushes us Wednesday morning with some light snow, perhaps, but nothing too much on this. Let's look at the NAM. You can see that Arctic front. That's a nice snow squall with that, but unfortunately, it just falls apart by the time it gets to us. And then Wednesday, it's as much as we've got right now, but I don't think we'll see much in the way of precipitation on Wednesday. Can also look at the clouds for this. But again, I think tomorrow should be a mostly sunny day. It should be a nice day. Start with clouds in the morning, maybe like 7 o'clock, and then it should be mostly sunny the rest of the day. And then you can see the clouds for Tuesday with that front, and then the NAM has a few more stratocumulus toward the afternoon, and then kind of clears it out toward the evening. And then there's the next system. So, pretty much covered everything here. Let's go to lastly, just two more things. Let's go to the Climate Prediction Center, look at our 6 to 10 day outlook, and unfortunately, we have above normal temperatures that are now in our area, and the below normal is now shifted to the northwest, as well as perhaps slight chances of above normal precipitation, though most of that would be in the west, it looks like. 8 to 14 day, not much of a change. It looks fairly similar, so unfortunately, they're thinking that we're going to be going back to an above normal pattern. Boo! That's all I got to say to that. Let's go and check out one more thing here. I don't know if I can do it with the Euro, but let's go to the Northern Hemisphere and do to this. Look at the polar vortex on the GFS, and we'll use the 12Z and just show it to you here. All right. It's kind of wrapping itself up again, unfortunately. But it does sort of try to dive down again. And a split, again, looks like a split toward the end of the period. So if we do get a warmth spell, hopefully it will be short-lived and we'll see more cold air. And hopefully really cold air. I'm talking about highs only in the teens. Temperatures in the single digits. Not under radiational cooling. All right? That kind of thing. All right? I don't know if we can get this product with the euro. No, we cannot. Okay, the last thing that we are going to check is the sea ice. And that is the last thing we will check here. Sea ice today, because there is actually not good news with this, believe it or not. Ringing in the new year with a warm Arctic. Air temperatures in December 2024 were above average over the entire Arctic Ocean, continuing the pattern set in November. Above average Arctic sea ice extent for December was the lowest on satellite record, in part due to the late ice growth in the Hudson Bay and in low extent in the northern Barents Sea. Antarctic sea ice has declined at a slower than normal pace. So this is their little report here. This is the Arctic sea ice extent right now, and you can see, we're at the bottom here. So again, even though we got cold air, we're still seeing a warmer world. You got to look at the whole picture about this, and that's because of the Arctic air temperature. If we look at the air temperatures here, and if we go back to the models here, which we can do, I'll go back to the models here. In fact, let's go back to the models here. I'll show you what I mean. Let's go back to Now I only have this product. I think I only have this product on the GFS. Temperature anomaly. You can see there's a lot of warmth in the Arctic. Greenland's above normal. We have Europe above normal. There's some pockets of cold in Siberia, but generally well above normal in a lot of areas. So this is exactly the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So just because we've had some cold weather in Florida, it snowed in Florida, that doesn't mean anything that the world is warm. In fact, it's more proof that we are going through climate changes. The weather patterns get more unpredictable. And I'm just going to go over some of these temperatures up in Canada here, if we can get these to display here. And if we can get them to display, otherwise I'll have to use Ventus Sky, but I'm hoping I won't. Come on. Yeah, I mean, Hudson Bay, 17. That's not that cold. Should be below zero up in these areas. Manitoba, 21. It should be below zero there. That's well above what they're supposed to be. So this is exactly the kind of stuff I'm talking about. And the media and a lot of other people, especially people who are drinking that orange man juice, will just try to claim, there's no global warming because it snowed in Florida. I mean, no, that's complete bullshit. All right. So that is going to wrap up this Long Island weather update and outlook. And again, the wind. We can look at the wind tomorrow and see. Just one more thing. I'll just check for the wind tomorrow and see how bad it's going to be at night. So gusts 25, 26. It's not terrible. It'll be breezy, but it won't be. It looks like it's worse the further east you go. So further west, it doesn't look all that bad, but it will be on the breezy side tomorrow. And Tuesday is probably as well. No, Tuesday it don't look too bad though. It's mainly the first part of Tuesday and later tomorrow. I think that we'll be dealing with some breezy and perhaps occasionally windy conditions, but I don't think a wind advisory will be issued. So I don't think one is needed. So anyway, have a good night.